Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Jonna. This is Jonna OMG. Today I will be reviewing Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 6, Rap Sheets and Old Beef. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. So we start this episode off with like a montage between Kandi and Marlo's quote unquote friendship throughout the years. So Marlo first got introduced to the ladies back in 2011. And then they fast forward, they show some unseen footage from 2020. So in 2020, this is where Marlo came over to Kandi's house and told Kandi about her nephew. They were sitting around, Riley was there. She told Kandi that her nephew had passed and he used to work at Old Lady Gang, and Kandi offered her condolences. They even hugged it out. So this was 2 years ago at this point. So I will admit that Kandi didn't really make any acknowledgement the fact that her nephew worked at OLG. So I'm curious on why he stopped working there now. Like, was it bad blood between him and somebody else? Because she just made no mention of him working at ONG, like, oh, he was a great chef, he was a great worker, like nothing like that. And granted, as an owner, I guess you don't know everyone that works in your business, but the fact that it was Marlo's nephew, you would think that she would know him or something, but I don't know. You would also think that Marlo would have made mention of her nephew working there previously to his passing, right? Like she would have mentioned it in conversation. Oh, my nephew works at your restaurant. I just feel like that maybe shouldn't have been the first. If they were friends or if they were on good terms, that shouldn't have been the first time that Kandi knew that that was Marlo's nephew, right? This whole situation, sticky and murky, but we'll talk about it down the line. So we move on to Marlo, and she's out eating with her managers. And now that I think about it, y'all, okay, Marlo has 2 managers, but what does Marlo do? Like, what does she do for money? Like, I mean, all of her revenue cannot be coming from Lay Archive because, no, right? I mean, she just started that business, and that's just like a rental business, right? Where people are renting out her pieces, right? What does she do to even have managers? I don't know. So they're talking about her frustration with Kandi and not being able to talk about the incident at Blaze. Like, she went back to why Drew didn't say the word shooting. Instead, she said incident. And then they, follow up about Kandi not sending flowers to her nephew's funeral. And like I said last week or the week before, I do think it would have been a nice gesture for Kandi to have sent flowers, especially if this was a person that used to work at your restaurant, and specifically because he's Marlo's nephew, and if y'all were in a good space, like, that would have been a way to offer your condolences, right? So I don't know. So we move on to Sonya and her brand, Mommy Nation. I don't know why I want to say Mommy Brunch. What is that? Mommy Nation is going to be featured on Bilk.com. So all of them, her mom, her sister, the kids, they're all in the kitchen. So her sister still feels some type of way that Ross basically wants them out of the house. And I'll admit, they really got it good. Like, there's always somebody in the house to take care of the kids. And I'm not really sure that Ross is even thinking about that. It's like, while you're away for the limo business in Austin, there is somebody in the house able to take care of your kid. Like, you're not even thinking about that. And then I'm thinking about, okay, let's say all of them move out. That means Sonya is going to have to do all the heavy lifting by herself if you're still in Austin. Like, she's going to be the one having to rip and run in, drop Deuce off here, find a babysitter here. And then y'all haven't even had the second kid yet. Bring a second kid in the mix. She's going to need help. She needs a village. So, though I personally don't know if I could live with that many people, in one household, but I see how it works for them, especially if Ross is away all the time. Like, he's not even thinking about that. You just like, I want my house to myself. My house, my house, my house. Okay, sorry. Yeah, he's not even thinking about how helpful it is to his wife. So Sonya says she's gonna have a talk with Ross, but her mom and her sister, they are over it, child. They like, well, regardless if you have a talk with him or not, we out of here. And I'm like, oh, and remember the brother-in-law done already quit as being her assistant, so they ready to clean up. They out of here. And I guess they're just feeling like kicked to the curb. Like, they want to leave before Ross basically kicks them out, which I guess I can understand. But I feel like Sonya probably should have waited to have that conversation with her sister and her mom. She should have talked it out with Ross a little bit more and show how beneficial it is having them in the house before she brought that conversation to them, because they will feel slighted. I would too. I feel like, okay, y'all ready for me to go? Let me go then. So we move on to Kenya. She's visiting a warehouse that would be housing Kenya Moore Hair Spa. This is a smart business move. It's smart to me. She already has the hair care line. I think this is a smart transition. She said this is going to be her legacy for Brooklyn. What do y'all think? I also think she probably should have came out with some hair care tools like flat irons, hair dryers, comb brushes, which she still can do, and then house them in the hair spa. So I think that's still smart. Okay, girl, if you steal my idea, I need a little bit of commission. Okay. So we move on to Sheree, and she's feeding her granddaughter. So remember, Sheree's son Cairo had a little girl. She's about 3 months on, and 3 months old, and she is a cutie pie. She's so cute. So Sheree bought some like Christmas ornament, and I wonder how close they are to Christmas. They're probably far off, but she just wants to get it because she's 3 months. So it's like, y'all seen those little ornaments where she has to put her little handprint in, and then they can hang it up on the Christmas tree. So they're doing that, but the baby is trying to sleep. She's like, girl, I want to put my hand in this. Like, I am napping, okay? Leave me alone. Sheree is talking about how hands-on Cairo is with the baby. And I'm just like, I always find it weird when people like overly praise fathers for being fathers. Like, oh, he's so hands-on. Yeah, he should be. Like, what do you mean? That's his job. Like, nobody says, oh, the mother is so hands-on with the baby. It's understood. Like, that's what she's supposed to do. So, like, that just gets on my nerves. But anyway, so Drew and Ralph, y'all, Drew is okay. Toward the end of this episode, she was getting on my nerves a little bit. Well, she pretty much gets on my nerves every episode. But Ralph, I don't like Ralph, y'all. I cannot stand that man. Ever since the first time he came on my screen, I have not liked that man. I don't care for him. I think he is a liar. I think he is very deceitful. And I mean, he really just tries his hardest to gaslight Drew. And I know everybody was like, oh, nah. She's like, I don't feel gaslit. But I'm like, girl, I don't see how not. How do you look back at yourself and like, you don't see how this man is gaslighting you? I don't see. I don't have it. I don't see it for Ralph. Not a fan. Anyway, so they're outside playing basketball. The two little boys are getting more into basketball. So they had a coach telling them what the boys need to be working on and stuff. But I'm like, dang, they already got a coach, like making house calls. Like, maybe he's friends with Ralph or something. Because my goodness gracious, like, are they headed to the NBA already? Like, what's going on? I don't know anything about basketball world. So anyway, so Drew said something about having surgery and how every time she has surgery, Ralph has to have surgery right after her. And y'all, this man gonna say that he has never had surgery in his life. See, to me, if someone can blatantly lie, like that, he's a problem. He's a problem. Drew was like, Ralph, what are you talking about? You've had 3 surgeries. So you telling me you didn't forget all 3 of your surgeries? Like, he had eye surgery, throat surgery, and then I guess groin surgery. I don't know, because she pointed in that region. But I'm like, you don't remember having 3 surgeries? And I'm sure they knocked you out, but there was a recovery period, right? So you don't remember? Like, you see, to me, he just tells blatant lies. I cannot deal with Ralph. Y'all like him? This y'all friend? So Drew said she was a child star, y'all, and they showed her little headshot. So, you know, I had to Google child. I'm like, I couldn't find anything, though. I couldn't find anything from when she was child. But I did see, I was like, Drew really has been in a lot of movies. I didn't even realize. Like, she really got her acting chops up. So, good job. Okay. So she's telling Ralph how she isn't excited about seeing Marlo because of the last incident they had. And I agree that Marlo shouldn't have taken her frustrations out on Drew. It really was more directed toward Kandi. But I just don't think Marlo went that hard on Drew like Drew was trying to paint. Like, yeah, she got in her face at the end, but it only lasted like 2 seconds. She did that while she was walking out the door. So to me, their argument wasn't as bad as Drew, Kenya, whoever else is trying to paint, honestly. It just wasn't that bad. So we move on to Kandi, and she mentioned that Courtney did invite her to this like escape room. She wasn't going to attend, but Monyetta convinced her some kind of way. So Kandi FaceTimes Kenya, and she's having what looks like a Little Mermaid themed party for Brooklyn. And I wonder why they didn't film that. I guess they feel like they want to switch it up because they do film Brooklyn's birthday like every year, I think. Remember one time they wore like the pink poofy dress, and then they had the tea party. Was that last season they had the tea party? I think so. So I guess they film Brooklyn birthday every year, so I wanted to switch it up. But it looked like they were having a Little Mermaid theme. Kenya had some long red hair. So I bet that was really cute. But I want to see the decor. I am all into like little kid party decor. Like, it's just so cute to me. So y'all, Kenya gonna have the nerve to say that Courtney should have gave them information about what outfit they should wear to the escape room because they possibly could get paint on that. And I'm like, Kenya, now the nerve of you, girl. What do you mean? You didn't even give them the itinerary for Birmingham. The ladies didn't even know that they were going to a charity event. That's why Monyetta came out with that all silver number, like she was going to the club. Like, you didn't even give them no information about their outfit. So Courtney didn't have to do you that favor. Like, girl, I guess. So they arrive at Courtney's events. And yeah, I really do think it's weird that Courtney is already throwing events. Like, girl, you just got here. Like, Monyetta was here last season and she didn't throw an event. She's not throwing one now. So I'm just like, it seems like you're vying for a peach. Could be me. Nah, it ain't me. You're vying for a peach. You're doing a lot for this friend of role, okay? Why are you throwing events already? Like, girl, calm your nerves. She wants the peach. So Kandi wants to immediately address the issues with Marlo. So Marlo, Drew, and Kandi go off to the side to talk about it. I don't know why Marlo involved Drew, because really, Drew is just, Drew has no part of this fight. It's really just between Marlo and Kandi. They just need to get on one accord. Like, Drew's just collateral at this point. So Kandi feels like Marlo is bringing up her name, insinuating that her nephew's passing or shooting has something to do with Kandi. I don't think that was what Marlo was trying to do. She did make mention that he did work at OLG and that she would have preferred some flowers. Now, granted, this did happen 2 years ago, so the timing is weird that Marlo is bringing this up now, but I guess since the news has broke about the shooting at Blaze, she's saying that's how it triggered her to thinking about her nephew's past. So Kandi doesn't like how Marlo is dropping these little nuggets, trying to mix her business in with her nephew's passing. So Marlo is saying that her nephew met his assailant at Old Lady Gang. And I get what Kandi is saying here, because it's like you're almost trying to imply that the business had some stake in why he passed, or, you know, how he passed and things like that. Because why are you even making mention that the person that shot your nephew, she met at Old Lady Gang. I mean, he met at Old Lady Gang. Like, why are you even making mentions of that? I think I see what Kandi is saying there. I do agree that Kandi could have sent flowers, but I am curious on why Marlo held it in for 2 years. But, well, never mind. She said she was just recently triggered, which could be true. I also don't like that Kandi kept saying her cousin and not saying her nephew. Like, to me, I don't know if she was just really confused, but it felt almost disrespectful. I don't know. Like, she was like, and your cousin, like, and Marlo corrected her one time. She was like, my nephew. And Kandi said it again. And your cousin, like, girl, this is my nephew. Like, stop saying cousin. Like, that's why I say I feel like Kandi was, I don't know if it was intentional, but it did come off a little disrespectful to me. And y'all, this is really tough. Like, I can really see faults on both sides. And I want y'all to comment down below, what are your thoughts? Like, who is in the wrong here? Who is right? Do you understand Marlo's perspective? Do you see where Kandi is coming from? Like, I really want to chat about this in the comment section. Okay, so pause the video, do that now, come back. And child, they were calling Marlo the aggressor. Like, Drew, of course, Drew was still there trying to be in the middle between it. And she was like, move Marlo away. She's aggressive. She's aggressive. And camera crew, yet again, here they come. Marlo had her hands behind her back the whole time. Like, she wasn't the one doing all the rah, rah, rah. That was actually Kandi. Like, so between the two, Kandi seemed a little bit more aggressive than Marlo in that incident. I'm not sure, y'all. Like I said, I can see both sides. I can see how Marlo bringing this up is insinuating that it had something to do with Kandi just because of the shooting that happened at Blaze. It's just so recent. And I can also see how Marlo feels that Kandi should have shown a little bit, well, just shown a nice gesture by offering flowers, or offering her condolences, or saying something nice about the nephew, seeming that he worked at her restaurant. I don't know. Not saying that she has to make things up. She might not have nothing nice to say. I don't know, but I can see. But I am open to opinions and perspectives, so let's chat in the comments. Overall, I rate this episode about a 5 out of 10. I mean, it wasn't too much to me, honestly. I mean, everybody's probably like, woohoo, the drama at the end, but it was too murky for me to enjoy it. So anyway, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Let's chat below.